Hey everybody, it's Charles, your hobby hero, coming at you with part 2 of the Casual Deck Challenge series that we started here on the channel. If you missed part 1, make sure you go check that out up there. Basically what we're doing with this is I am taking requests for individual decks that are casual in nature. You're wanting to accomplish something very specific with your deck, but you also want it to play well, not necessarily be peak competitive, but be able to hang in for games and be able to enjoy, winning some games as well. So that's really what this series is about. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscription button down at the bottom corner. I do appreciate it. I do put out regular content about the hobbies that I love the most, with this channel being dedicated to the card games that I play. Now, this particular challenge was actually set up by my wife, who has made her Mother Knows Best deck. For this particular deck, we have got to accomplish a few tasks. The first task on this one is going to be that it needs to be centered around Mother Gothel, Mother Knows Best, as not necessarily its main win condition, but its main functionality for the deck. Like, that has got to be a part of what makes this deck good. We can't just slap 4 cards into another meta deck and say, hey, we've done it that way. So it's got to kind of be centered around that theme. The other thing is, for this particular deck, she's decided on the colors Emerald and Amethyst. So those are the color restrictions that we have. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and throw her list up on the screen here, and we going through and breaking it down card by card. Make sure you go check out her video as well to see why she made the choices that she made. As we go into her list, we'll review those card choices, those quantities of cards that she's played, and then put together a completed list that we'll review at the very end of the video. So let's go ahead and jump into the actual deck. All right, so here is the list as we have it here. One thing you're going to notice almost immediately is kind of the sporadic quantities that you see in here. A lot of these cards, if you're not familiar, you can have a maximum of 4 of each of these cards in your deck. She does not have a maximum of very many cards, if any, in this deck. So it's going to be one thing that we really want to focus on. We want to keep it at that 60, because being at that 60 mark is going to make your draws the most consistent, and having as many copies of the cards you want to draw is also going to make the deck the most consistent version of the deck it can be. Kind of look at the curve right now. Right now it's kind of all over the place. One thing you want to make sure when you're dealing with the deck is it has kind of an identity. You don't want it to be bad in all kind of phases. And when you talk about phases, you have your early game, your mid game, and kind of your late game. She does not have very much in the deck in ways of late game, but then as you can see kind of here, this turn 3 and 4 and her turn 1 and 2 are also pretty heavy as well. So we'll take a look at that and see if it makes sense to have more of a natural curve down and focus on the early game, or kind of have a curve up before it peaks and kind of focus on that mid game. Uninkables, just 13 uninkables, not too crazy high. We'll take a look and see kind of what we end up with. We want to make sure that what we have in there are good and worthwhile uninkables, and we'll come and revisit this after we go through it again. So we'll start up here at the top. 1-drops I think are absolutely essential for any deck that you're building. Regardless if you're aggro or not, you're going to need something to slow down those aggro decks, regardless of what kind of deck you're playing. Archimedes being the strong one here because he is inkable, so we're going to bump him up to 4. Maleficent, now I do like Maleficent. Unfortunately, in this color combination, we don't really have a way to protect her. Being a 1/1, she trades very unfavorable, and being uninkable makes her a very bad top deck if you're not playing her turn 1. So we're going to cut the Maleficent out. Now, our other 1-drops here, I don't see a ton of value in Olaf. I don't feel like he has a lot to offer. We're going to cut Olaf down to 1 for right now, and that's just so we can keep him in the list, and we'll see how many cards we need towards the end of the list. Now, with this being a Mother Gothel deck, I think thematically we can leave Pascal in here for right now. Just because, again, he doesn't trade very favorably. He should, for the most part, have evasive, though, which, and again, fits the theme for the deck. So for right now, we're going to leave him as a 4-up. We may revisit that. He is inkable as well. Duke of Wesselton, I think we probably have enough 1-drops, or at least some quantity there. We're going to take him down to 1 and see what we've got left over at the end. Getting into our 2-drops, we have a lot of 2-drops here, and I don't particularly think we need that many. I am a big fan of Flynn Rider. He also fits the theme the best, so I think we're going to bump him up to 4. I don't really like Genie at all. He is inkable in this scenario. That's about all he has to offer over the other 2-drops. We're going to take him out there. And then we've got Yzma and Cruella. I don't know that either one of them particularly moves us towards our win condition one way or the other. Again, we're going to take them down to 1, see what kind of quantity we have left to play with at the end. Maleficent, this card draws cards. It's going to help you get to the pieces that you want to see. She also sings the songs that are in this deck, so I think we absolutely need 4 of her. Rafiki, not inkable, but this guy is your key to stopping your early game rushes. Usually trading very favorably into like a 2-for-1 against aggro decks. Definitely think we want him as a 3-of. And again, he can sing pretty much or all of the songs in this deck as well, so not a bad thing either. Peter Pan's the next one up. I do like evasive, and I think she probably values this particular evasive card because it is in the starter deck. I am going to cut this evasive card, though. I think I want to replace it with Tinkerbell. Just because she produces 2 ink instead of 1. Let me see here. Where's she at? Tinkerbell, most helpful. Yeah, this Tinkerbell here. For 1 more, she gets 2 lore instead of 1 and can really actually turn the games around against certain matchups single-handedly. This Jafar, I'm not a fan of this Jafar. I think the only reason why she likes him is he's in the starter deck, and he is very good in the starter deck, but in a constructed format, he does not really do much. We'll take him out. Zeus, I don't hate Zeus here. I'm going to leave him as a 1-of, see if he makes the final cut. He doesn't really fit the theme. He does rush, which is nice. Unfortunately, only having 0 on the swing back, he pretty much is not going to be able to trade for more than 1 card. Having 2 lore is nice there, though. Hans, I do like Hans. Thematically, I think, Hans looks like the type of guy you would bring home to your mother if Mother Gothel was your mom. 4-drop, 3 ink. I'm going to bump him up to 4. Talked about Tinkerbell already, that evasive 2 here. Cusco is probably one of my favorite 5-drops in the game. Having Ward is insane on a 3 lore generator. To be able to get to 17, play this guy, and know pretty much that you have the game wrapped up is a ton of value. The fact that he also has the ability to no touch you, which means he's going to always take out the person who takes him out, is very good as well. We're going to bump him up to 4. Mad Hatter, another one that we're going to bump up to 4. It's inkable, 3 lore generator, and which means your opponent's going to need him off the board quickly, and this Tea Party is a ton of card advantage if they have to challenge him to get him off the board. We're going to bump him up to 4. Now, she had Mother Gothel at 3. I think we always want to draw Mother Gothel in this build, so we're going to bump her up to 4. She is inkable, so we don't really have to worry about drawing her at the wrong time. So we can put her into the inkwell and use her for something else on the curve. Vicious Betrayal. This card is not good. Again, another card that my wife probably included because it's in the starter deck, and she has seen it as a kind of like a foundation card in the starter deck. In Constructed, you don't need to play cards like this in the current format, so we're going to cut that one altogether. Do It Again. We didn't even have max copies of the cards she was wanting to run, so I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to run a card to play them. The effects that we have, the actions we have in here are not necessarily ones that we need to be repeating at the cost of 3 uninkable card being included in the deck, so we're going to cut those as well. Friends on the other side, absolutely need to have this as a 4 of. It is inkable, it draws cards, it can be sung. It's going to help consistently get to the cards we want to see. We definitely want to play this one. Mother Knows Best, a nice tempo card. It is uninkable, which can hurt it. She had it as a 2 of. Thematically speaking, I think it's fine as a 2 of. And here as well, you go much higher, and you're going to find you have multiples of these in your hand, and it's not really something you want to see multiples of in your hand. So I think we're fine leaving it at 2. I'll be honest with you, this White Rabbit's Pocket Watch was not something me personally would have thought of, but I actually really like the fact that with this in play, Mother Gothel can come down and immediately shut off your opponent's ability to quest for lore the next turn. So we are going to leave that one in here. It's inkable, so I think we're probably fine leaving that at a 3 as well. Let's check what we've got here. Our inkables, we took down a few non-inkable cards. Curve, again, looks like we're kind of getting more into that mid-range deck with our curve there. Let's go and check out our counts. We've got 6 spaces to add cards, and I think it's going to probably be early game stuff here because our top end's pretty heavy. I think we can probably see here. We've got 10 1-drops. I think I'm good with 10 1-drops. And honestly, maybe we just keep them like this. You've got the Olaf or the Duke of Wesselton. Both situationally trade better. Maybe we just leave 1 and 1 versus going 2 with one or the other. Again, I think more often than not, you're going to ink them. And the difference in the power and their shields is not tremendous. In our 2-drop spot, I think I want to up one of these to 4 and cut the other one. I really like Yzma and her ability to kind of smooth out our draws. I think she is a more offensive quester than Cruella de Vil. Now, I do like that Cruella de Vil can bounce any character once she's banished versus some of these other ones have to banish or affect the character that attack them. But at 1 lore generation and 1/3 stats on a 2-drop, I don't know, are a little more offensive than having them on a 1-drop. I think I'm going to cut Cruella. I think we're going to bump Yzma up to 4. It gives us 56. We've got 4 cards to play with. Let's see here. I'm going to go through. Let's see if we missed any cards maybe that should have been included in the list. Ursula's Cauldron could help smooth out our draws, especially in those control matchups. Magic Mirror. I don't know. I don't like playing both of these cards. I kind of like playing one or the other depending on your curve. I know a lot of the Ruby Amethyst decks are running some combination of both of them. It seems super greedy, and being uninkable seems like it could be trouble. Let's see. What are we missing? Cheshire Cat would be a nice option. 2 lore generator, kind of keeping the opponent honest in that early game. We got any other 2 lore generators here we may be missing? Mickey Engine isn't terrible. We probably got enough room to work it in. Ooh, we have Genie. I forgot about Genie. I think we drop Zeus and we go maybe 2 copies of Genie. Facilier, Elsa. I don't think we can get up to Elsa very consistently in this deck. Let's see. So we got 3 cards. Let's go with, what's our curve look like here? Pretty high on 3s already. Let's see. Nice if we had a 2-drop 2 lore generator in these colors, but unfortunately we do not. What do we have in that 2-drop spot? You know what? I feel like thematically, Ursula's Cauldron makes more sense. If Mother knows best, because she's looking at the top 2 cards and filtering out what we have left to get there. It takes us to 14 non-inkables. We got 1 card spot left. I think we're just going to put another 1-drop in here and take a look at our deck from there. All right, guys, so there you have it. Please let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the new and improved Mother Knows Best deck. If you've got any deck ideas you'd like to see in a future episode, please let me know down in the comment section below as well. And until next time, guys, Hobby Hero out.